Hi, Dave. The data you're looking for is actually in XBasic. So what I'm going to do is so I've got this set up. I've got a list, static data, exactly the same way you've got all set up. And on the button, I've got actually two buttons. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to get this done. So here's I'm just running an action, which really is kind of not really necessary, but I think this just kind of bloats the UX, but it just depends on what you're doing and whether you're running mobile or not. But that's running, so that action, edit the action is opening an Ajax callback, and so on. And you're right, the additional data to submit is kind of important here, but in this particular case, not really necessary. So I'm just going to run this. And just back all the way out. And here's my XBasic function, right? That was just created by default, and I've just added some stuff in here. So let's go ahead and run this. Go to full preview. Let's move this over. So I'm going to click on CenturyLink. So here's what we've got. If you were to look in E, so I'm just going to go down here in my variable section. I'm just going to type E. So that's going to give you a look at everything that's in here. And actually the very first row that we see is underbar current row data new. So this is what we've selected. And we can grab this information. So what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to dimension an array as C, because it is character, and then I'm going to dump everything that's inside E underbar current row data new list 1. I'm going to dump all that into the array, and then I'll be able to pick out what I want. So let's dimension that first. So there's our current row array, and I'm dimensioning it 4 because I know I've got 4 pieces in here. We've got not list 1, but when I choose list 1, data new list 1, I know what I'm going after. So I've got, it's all carriage return line feed delimited. So I know that every one of these coming in is going to have 4 sections to it. So we're going to dump all that in, dump these carriage return line feed sections into an array. So now I've got this into my current row array. Got 4 in here. I'm going to expand that. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can see it just follows this current row list 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I can dimension my current carrier ID, and I'm going after the first item in the array, which is number 2, which is the carrier ID. So you've got all the data in there that you need. However, you can kind of get this done another way, just in case you didn't have that data for whatever reason. So I'm just going to take you through this. So list properties. There's a little bit better way to do this. Fields. I'm just going to go through them. Well, let me just do it with this button because it's pretty much the same thing. Click. Let's get into this action because you really don't need to run an action to do this. And this is the simple way to do it. Ajax Callback. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to follow this example down here because I just want a placeholder in here, and I want this easy for me to have a look at after I do stuff. So I think it's got to be in single quotes, underbar var1 is equal to alpha. And that's all I want to do. I'm going to click OK, and now I'm going to do this, text mode. Yeah, converted. It's just a one-liner. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to save it. I'm going to cancel it. No, I don't want to do anything here. Okay, so now I'm going to get in here. I'm going to just comment this out. So instead of calling an action, call the callback itself. Now it says grid.object, so we can also have a look to see what else is going on here. We can do an insert UX method, and I can just type in callback. So this is what we actually want to do. I always make that lowercase for some reason. So this follows what we're doing here. Now this is the way the alpha calls it, but it doesn't need to be done this way because there is no grid, there's no grid row number, there is nothing here. So this is what This is the true format that the dialog callback should be taking. Alpha does it this way just because that's what their builder does. And I guess they didn't want to change it, but you don't need to do that. So here's your XBasic function here. And I'm just going to grab open site, which is the XBasic callback or that we're actually calling. There. That's blank, whatever that was originally, and there's our extra data. So if you truly wanted to feed extra data in here, you could actually put it into this spot here. And you can just leave everything else off. And it still has to be in this format, but you could actually add it right in here if you wanted to. Additional data. Take that out. Take this out. I'm going to take all that out. There's some other stuff you can add in. Put that in. Do that. So now we've got a full call. This is what it looks like when Alpha converts it. It's got device offline functionality, so you can evolve that too, but you don't have to. So now you could actually make this call itself. So if I just comment that out and do that. So now your on-click is calling the callback directly. You don't have to go through an action to do it. And same results. So if I do live preview, let's choose Comcast. So there we are. There's Comcast. There's my current row data. Step through this, and you'll see dimension courier ID is this. Then you can go and look it up, and then you can do whatever else you want with your window.open stuff when you return. But again, with our passed in data, we can have a look at our E object that got passed in. Now we can just pile through the bottom here and find our data. And it was Val, wasn't it? It should be in here. Oh, there, no, sorry, var1. So there it is there. So we can actually pass in data if we don't happen to have it. But in this case, we do happen to have it. And it's up here in our current row data new. So we can just use stuff. We don't have to pass anything in. But as I say, you can call the callback directly. You don't have to go through an action to do it, which will make everything run a little bit faster, a little less bloated, etc. So I hope that helps, and let me know. Thanks.